Hey Renee, I figured out the problem. So it took me a little bit, but then I remembered what you said about the kid telling you to use slope intercept forms. So I kind of played around with it a little bit, but I got the answer to both your questions. If you could grab a pen and a paper so you can practice yourself so you'll know how to do it. I'm going to walk you through it step by step so you understand things, okay? It's just a little bit too long to text. Let's go. So what I normally do when I have a problem like this is I write down all of the equations that I'm given and all of the information that I'm given. Okay, so just so I have it in front of my eyes. So what we're given is we're given the production cost equation. So what it is it's P of C equals V of C plus F of C, or FC. Okay, so all right. The C is your quantity. Okay, so that would be like number of units produced, or like how many items you have, pretty much. So I'm going to rewrite this in a way that I can understand it, because I do well with X's, I don't do well with other variables. Okay, so and I'm just going to change this to V and this to F. Okay, so it's going to be now that we're changing it to X, we're going to do P of X equals V X plus F, because you don't need to times the fixed cost by X, because X doesn't affect the F, because it stays the same no matter how many units you produced. But the variable cost changes with the number of units you produce, so that's why that's got to be times by the quantity. Okay, now do you know what this looks like? This also looks like Y equals MX plus B. There's the slope intercept. Now I wrote that because we're going to need it, okay? All right, so now what I do is I go ahead and write down all the information I'm given on the page. So we were given this table of units produced and production cost. Alrighty. Now, the units produced is the quantity, right? So that's going to be your X values right there. The production cost is also Y, isn't it? Because look, it translates right to Y. So you're going to have that as your Y values. Now let's go ahead and write all the information that your page gave us. So you're going to, I'm going to write the X's first. 1,000, 1,250, 1,500, 2,000. Now we're going to write the amounts of the production cost. Okay, so that's 12,760.00. Always use the decimal places, because you might get yourself confused. So because there's 13,387.50. See, that's why you need the decimal places, even though it says .00, just to make sure that you're doing your work right. And then you have 14,015.00. And then last but not least, 15,270.00. Okay, so they gave us the X and the Y values, but that's not going to help us solve this, because we need another one of these in order to get it. So we need either V or F. Well, we can always find the slope, right? Because the slope, which is M, is y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1, right? That's how you find the slope. So we're going to make the M the V, because that's what place it's in, and we are going to solve this, okay? So let's solve for the slope. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to write a little bullet point, so then that way I keep myself organized. Organization is always important, because you can't, with math and numbers, you can't mix it up. Okay, so let's find V, which equals y sub 1, or y sub 2 minus y sub 1 divided by x sub 2 minus x sub 1. And I always write the equation first, so I can kind of keep track of what I'm doing. So b equals, now you can pick for this x sub 2 and x sub 1, or y sub 2, y sub 1, and x sub 2 to x sub 1. You can pick any of these 2 points, any of these points over here, okay? But they have to be corresponding. So what I usually do is I use the least amount of ones, or I use the lowest number. So then we're going to plug these into this formula. And I'm going to use these two. So, all right, let's do y sub 2, which is 13,387.50. Minus y sub 1, which is 12,760. Alrighty, divided by x sub 2, or x sub 2, which is 1250. Yeah. Okay, minus y sub 1, which is 1000. Okay, all right, now I'm just going to do the math real quick. And I always do it step by step. So I subtract these, which gives you 627.50 divided by 1250 minus 1000, which is 250. And then you divide those,